Hello, humans. Hello, earthlings, fellow earthlings. If anyone's listening that's not on Earth, please let me know down in the comments where you're listening from. Let's get into the economic news today. Real quick side note, thank you for everybody that gave me feedback on the song, the first song I put vocals to in a very, very long time that I talked about in the last report. Most of you seemed to appreciate it. Where else are you going to find economic financial news? And the guy is going to also sing to you every once in a while. I had a couple haters, like one guy, one commenter said that I was pimping my songs on this channel. If you guys knew how little you get paid for one song stream, it's literally a fraction of a penny. So you have to have millions of streams to make any money at it. It's just for fun, and I'm sure most of you kind of get the point where when you're focusing on news like this every day that's not so good news, it can get pretty depressing. I mean, I'm doing well, but covering the news, we know so many people are not doing well. So many people are barely hanging on by a thread. Sometimes you just got to do things that you like to do. My little release or getaway is music. So the bottom line is you got to try to have fun and right, not be so uptight all the time, right? So let's get into the news right now. We've got a lot of things to cover. I'll try to be brief, but still pretty on the point as far as each news item. This one is out of Vice. And people say that my channel is doom and gloom. Well, if it is, 56% of young people agree with me. And I just cover financial news. Now, people think that most people think that humanity is doomed, or at least the young people in this survey. And I think a lot of us here can feel more anxiety, more stress, more uncertainty about the future. We see just so many things happening right now all at once, not just economically and financially. We just see the levels of sickness, the problems with the severe weather, the shortages, what's going to happen to the farms, will they survive? The entire West is running out of water. We've got Lake Powell, Lake Mead at all-time low levels or near all-time low levels, about 1/3 of capacity. The snowmelt in the Rockies that feeds the Colorado River is getting lower and lower all the time, as far as what I read. And as a result, we see the lakes out here in California are running dry. And let's take a look here. This is out of sfgate.com. 120 houseboats pulled off of Lake Oroville as reservoir is expected to reach lowest level ever. So it's on the way to being the lowest level ever. And this is a place where people actually had houseboats as their second home, as their getaway home on the lake. And now the water levels are dropping so low, you see in the background, that over 100 of them have been pulled out of the water. And according to this report, the Lake Oroville is at about 38% capacity. I think that this is a disaster that not enough people are talking about, and it's just another thing to add onto all of the other stresses and everything else that we're seeing in this world right now, including the U.S. So is humanity doomed? Well, most young people seem to think so. And remember just a few years ago how the preppers and people said, to get ready, those were the crazy paranoid people. Now you almost seem crazy not to be preparing. And myself, I've decided to go ahead and just ride it out here in California. There's things that could happen wherever you go. Look at all the Gulf Coast, the storms on the East Coast, the storms, the hurricanes, tornadoes in Middle America. I mean, it's something everywhere you go. A lot of people are leaving California though and choosing more rural country locations where they can be more self-sufficient, have chickens, maybe have their own pond, have their own groundwater, which are all super things that you should be doing, and most people should be thinking about those, but you have to weigh out all of the different consequences. Recent report here out of Bloomberg, 2/3 of businesses around the world are struggling to hire. So it's not just a US thing. I'm still trying to piece this together. We know that the enhanced unemployment benefits were part of it, maybe not a big part of it, maybe a small part of it, because we see that those benefits have expired now. and still businesses are reporting they're having troubles hiring. Other reasons I pointed to is that people are tired of working and not getting by, and they see prices rising, and they figure, what's the point? So you have a lot of discouraged workers. Also, a lot of people are sick and too sick to go to work. And if they're not sick, maybe they're scared of getting sick. And when you have a labor shortage, then you're going to have lack of workers around you. So you may have more of a workload. So those that are choosing to still work have to compensate for all the people that are not working. And has anyone called a customer service line lately or went to a restaurant and had to wait extra long? I mean, this is really affecting all of us. And for some of these places, you have to call like call centers and stuff like that for insurance or banking. You have sometimes 10, 15-minute waits. It's pretty horrendous right now what's happening to the businesses. And it's not just the US, 2/3. It's actually closer to 70% when you look at the article. So take a look at this. At a time when the money printers, the government, the Treasury are teaming up to send out record amount of stimulus to the people, we have also record high tax collections. So I ask you to tell me, what's the point? What's the point in sending out money and then collecting it right back? What's the point in propping up businesses or giving out small business loans to just have the money paid right back in the form of taxes? It seems like a pretty big waste. And more people are finally waking up and starting to ask the question, why are we doing this when they're printing endless amounts of money out of thin air? This doesn't make sense. Why do you need to take a part of my paycheck when you're sending trillions of dollars all over the globe? And when the money printers have enough money to buy endless amounts of debt, including corporate debt, bonds, treasuries, securities, even stocks. CBS News recent article, American household income fell in 2020, the first decline since 2011. And think about this. This is the people that actually were lucky enough to keep their jobs. Their income fell. Many of them, their hours got cut. What about the people that lost their jobs and then dropped off the unemployment rolls? They have zero income. And that's also what we try to point out with rising wages, right? If you see rising wages, that's only looking at the people that actually have wages to rise, people that are employed. What about all the people, 25% of people now that are unemployed, right? 25% unemployment, the real number via shadow stats. Let's wrap it up with this one right here. A pretty wealthy actor that earned $25 billion just in 10 years on a TV show and also on The Walking Dead and The Morning Show got evicted. And this was an actor named Brett Butler from Grace Under Fire and other shows. Imagine earning $25 million in 10 years. And one, you're still renting. You still didn't buy a house because you live in Los Angeles where it's so expensive. But two, you get evicted from your rental property. She wasn't getting enough work to help her keep up with the cost of living in Los Angeles. My question is, if she's not getting enough work to pay for living in Los Angeles, why is she still acting? Why is she still living in LA? This actor pulled in a whopping $250,000 per episode while starring in the ABC sitcom Grace Under Fire, which ran from 93 to 98. Goes on to say she had some substance abuse problems. So this should go to show you that no matter how well you're doing, no matter how much money you're making, things can turn downward very quickly. And I'm sure this person that was making this much money at one point probably never thought they would get evicted. And we've seen stories like this with athletes and other mega celebs that suddenly you find out they're bankrupt and they're broke just like that. So if it could happen to them, I'm sure it could happen to a lot of us here, including myself. So be very, very careful right now, people. Be cautious, be prepared, but don't be stressed out. Try to have fun. Do what you do. Maybe it's music, maybe it's sports. My other thing I like to do is shoot basketball and go for runs and work out. And you just got to do what you can do to stay sane. in a very insane time right now. And remember, health is wealth. Stay healthy. Having fun is part of it. Thanks everybody for being here. Stay well. Stay safe. Keep stacking. Stay positive. Bye for now. Big love. Peace.